sleeps in the cave, and that's where he eats pickles and plays football. And every Friday, he burns the trash. 'Cause even today has a job.
The third part, thinking like an artist. Love.
Well, the reason I started doing the Be an Artist program was I realized that music and art teachers in schools that I was around through my children, they were overworked. You put a lot of schools, they put 2 classes together every 3rd day, and that's when you see your art teacher. It's just too much. You can't teach creativity. You can teach craft, something like that. But it was hard for schools to talk to about creativity to students. And I've just always felt that if you have something to say, especially with children, you should try to figure out a way to do it to have something positive. And the ability to go into schools and talk about seeing yourself as an artist, no matter who you are or what you're interested in, is pretty. I think it resonates with a lot of people, a lot of kids especially, and the ability to talk to maybe that kid in the back row that's about to fall off the map. I think that's pretty interesting and pretty, maybe save that kid from thinking that he's not valid or that he has no value. That was really the impetus behind the Be an Artist program. There's been so many magical moments. There's so many amazing things and interesting stories that have come from the Be an Artist program. One of my favorites was I was doing it for a school in Austin, and it's primarily Hispanic population, and a lot of the kids were children of immigrants, definitely first generation, so they didn't speak English, wasn't their first language, and so the program was actually translated into Spanish as we were doing it. And at a certain point in each one of the Be an Artist program dates, in the Be an Artist program sessions, I talk about loving your work and the fact that you could get paid to do what you would do in your free time. And I remember these kids looked at the translator like, "What did he just say?" And she explained to him again, and this kid looked at me and she goes, "You love your work?" And I said, "Yeah, I love my work." And they were just like, "Oh." And I don't think they'd ever heard that, because they're just their situation. Their parents didn't have the opportunity to maybe do what they love. They were worried with more basic things like feeding their family and putting the rent, paying the rent, putting the roof over their head. And most of us in our culture, at least, you have the opportunity to at least explore what you love. But I'll never forget the look on their face when it was the first time they'd ever heard that idea that you could actually love what you do for work. I grew up in Brenham, which is right down the road, and I remember being a kid out here in Central Texas, and it was hard. I never knew a professional musician. I never had the opportunity to be around an artist. Growing up, I didn't even know that you could be an artist or even make a living doing that. So I think it's a pretty high calling to bring this kind of thing to this any sort of area that's not in an urban zone. It's actually, I live in Austin. It's kind of easy to access music and art and culture, but you get away from those major cities, and it can be hard. It can be difficult. And this is where a lot of art and culture comes from, is areas that aren't urban. And so somebody has to lead the way. Somebody has to lead the charge, break the ice. And it takes someone who's willing to go out and lay it on the line, and Bugle Boy does that.